How's it going, boys? For today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the hardest maps in COD Zombies history. Whether it's from annoying aspects or a very narrow layout or any other elements that make the map hard like bosses and etc. Feel free to subscribe to stay up to date, and without wasting any more of your precious time, let's get right to it. Kicking off today's list at number 5, we have Moon. Moon for most people is one of those maps that's either really easy or really hard, but on average, I think most can agree that this map is no cakewalk. For starters, you spawn in no man's land. The first phase is pretty much like round 1, but after a short while, you realize that you really need to book it or you're most likely gonna die there. Then once you do make it out, you do have to worry about the cosmonaut, which isn't really a big deal in the beginning as you can keep track of him. But in the later rounds when you're constantly on the run, he could quite literally be anywhere. Not to mention, the more rounds that pass by, the more health the cosmonaut has. And I think the biggest thing that makes Moon a hard map has to be the excavators. You constantly have to be on the move every few rounds, because if not, there's a strong chance that the place you're training at will lose its oxygen. And to fix this issue, when the signal for the excavator begins, you have to run all the way to spawn, so if you're in dome, good luck getting down there in time. The running back wouldn't be that big of an issue if the timing for these things wasn't so bad, as more often than not, it's mid-round, so you're constantly having zombies spawn in. On a more small note, do you guys know Jug? Yeah, it's probably at spawn, so you won't be able to get to Jug until the later rounds, unless you get Jug before leaving no man's land. But yeah, Moon takes the number 5 spot today. With the fog rolling in at number 4, we have Transit. I don't think anyone's surprised Transit's on the list. I mean, it's Transit. On paper, this map should be easy, but the process to make this map easy is one of the hardest things to do. Most people don't even make it far enough to the point where it does get easy. So, let's break this thing down. For starters, the main issue that makes Transit one of the hardest maps is the setup. Especially in the early rounds where you have to depend on Ted the bus driver. And more times than not, you end up either getting on the bus even though you didn't complete what you needed to do, or you completed what you needed to do but end up getting stranded there until the bus comes again. On the same topic of setup, in order to get certain things you need on the map, you have to rely on a turbine, which can be pretty annoying, especially if a zombie breaks it before you get back to spawn. But luckily, most things become available once power's on. But the one thing that doesn't end up getting unlocked is Pack-a-Punch. So that requires you to get 2 turbines and placing one by the power room and the other in the bank. And man, I know a lot of people share the pain of getting to town only to see that Pack-a-Punch won't open because a zombie broke the turbine you left at the power station. On top of that, Transit also lacks something that makes it easy, and it's that it doesn't really have a wonder weapon. I mean, it does, but who's really counting the jet gun as a wonder weapon? The thing is practically useless. And I don't even want to hear, actually, the jet gun is the best wonder weapon because it has infinite ammo and does infinite damage. We basically have the ray gun, and that's about it. And while Transit does have traps, they work completely different from most traps on any other map. Because first, you have to build them, and then when you do build them, they're all garbage and not worth using. And if you do use them, you have to rely on camping, which Transit has very few spots to do it at. Lastly, Denizens in Lava. I don't really have to say much more, it just makes the map harder and more annoying to move around on. So on paper, Transit becomes easy once you get everything on the map done, but the process to do that is very challenging for most players, making it one of the hardest maps in COD Zombies history. Coming in at number 3, we have 5. While it is one of the more iconic maps for good reasons like playable characters and so on, it's also iconically hard for the majority of the player base. I was debating on putting 5 at the number 4 spot, but at least with Transit you have things, although not good, to make the map somewhat easier. But for 5, it's pretty much chaos the entire time. I think what makes 5 a difficult map is a very narrow layout, which reduces the amount of training spots you have. In total, you have about 3 training spots and only one of them is good really. You have Spawn, the science lab where the pig is, and the classic spot, I don't know the name, which is the best spot to be at for the remainder of the run. And to make this map more difficult than it needs to be, there's also a new zombie boss, which is the Pentagon Thief. And the devs got a little too creative with him, as he's able to take the weapon you're holding away until you manage to kill him, and if you don't get your gun back. Not to mention, he's also really unpredictable, so getting your shots in to kill him is rather difficult. If you kill him without having a weapon taken away, you are rewarded with a bonfire sale, which is nice at least. Also, 5 doesn't possess a good wonder weapon. You get the Winter's Howl and the ray gun. And you might as well not pick up the Winter's Howl because by round 20, even Pack-a-Punch, it isn't a one-shot, and the ammo isn't a whole lot, so just stick with the ray gun. Lastly, we gotta talk about the box spawns. There's a good amount of box spawns, and the only tolerable spot is in the main training area. If it isn't, you'd either die mid-round using the box, or you have to wait until the round is close to over to use it. Not much more to say besides this map is hard as fuck. On to the next one. Taking the number 2 spot on today's list, we have Verruckt. While it is my favorite map, I have to agree with the zombies community, this map is no joke. It doesn't matter if you play zombies every day, this map does not get much easier. See, 5 is already pretty narrow, but Verruckt takes it to a whole new level. There is no safe space, and I repeat, no safe space to train at, and the one spot that is available has zombies spawning from every direction, that being the Thompson room. Your best bet is to either train around the entire map or camp it out by the STG or camp by the complete opposite side near power. You could also camp by the electric trap, but that'll only take you so far. And what makes Verruckt even harder is the sprinting zombies. These guys aren't just running at your speed, they actually run faster than you, making reloading while training difficult at times. And if you get swiped once in the later rounds, you're almost guaranteed to die as the zombies suck you in. I wish that was it, but like some of the other maps on this list, Verruckt only has a ray gun, and that's about it. And let's be honest, we all died to the ray gun on this map. Overall, this map is constantly trying to kill you. Anything you can use to your advantage can kill you. Running can kill you, staying still can kill you, using the ray gun can kill you, and so on. Last but not least, taking the number 1 spot, Shangri-La. No joke, I don't think there's a single map after this that compares to how hard this map is. Verruckt at least has a spawn count. 5 at least has one area to train at. Tranzit, you can at least make it playable. Moon at least has several training spots and the wonder weapon that won't kill you. But Shangri-La has almost nothing. For starters, there are absolutely no training spots available. You basically have to camp at some point in the run as running around becomes too risky. And man, Shang not only has one zombie boss, but it actually has 2. We have the Screecher and the Nova zombie. One yells at you and the other one blows up in your face. The Screechers are manageable for the most part, but the Nova zombies slowly wander around the map. So one wrong turn and boom, game over. As for power-ups, you can forget it because you get punished for getting drops as monkeys will come and take your power-up. You can use it to get a better drop, but the chances are low and you do have to time it correctly. Even pack-a-punching is hard, especially with the full squad, as you need to stand on 1 to 4 stone tablets at the same spot to open pack-a-punch. And we all know, there's always the one guy who doesn't know how to do it and you're stuck with base guns the whole time. Maneuvering around the map is also a huge chore as there's either mud or traps slowing you down constantly. You do at least get a wonder weapon that's arguably the best wonder weapon of all time, except for the fact that it can kill you if you're not careful using it. Like, even a wonder weapon gets you killed on Shang. I don't think there's an argument to be made. Shangri-La is by far the hardest map in COD Zombies history. I see you typing your essay there, buddy. You're wrong. Shang's the hardest map. That's gonna do it for today's video, lads. Hope you all enjoyed. As always, if you disagree with any of the maps on the list, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Or if you feel like I left out a map, also feel free to leave it in the comments below. I have a ton of fun making these, and I know they drag, but the end product is always satisfying. Hopefully the next video doesn't take too long. Anyways, feel free to subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll see you all in the next one.